So you want to start a coaching business, but you have no clients and no experience? That's okay. In this video, I'm going to share with you exactly how to get started, even if you're brand new. All right, welcome back. If you want to start your coaching business, but you feel like you don't have the experience that you need, or you're nervous because you haven't actually worked with clients yet, that's absolutely fine. I was, in fact, in the very same position. When you think about it, everyone starts somewhere. So in this video, what I'm going to do is share with you the strategy on how to get started in your coaching business, even if you have no experience and you haven't worked with clients yet. Before we get there, definitely subscribe, because this channel is all about helping you market your business and yourself so that you can grow your income and create your very own version of a lavish life. I create videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I also host a live stream on Saturdays. So if you'd like to join me live so you can get your questions asked, be sure to click subscribe so that you'll see when my live streams come up. But you can also just join me on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. So I thought it might make sense for me to take you back just a little bit to when I first started my coaching business, because as I mentioned, everyone starts from somewhere. And that's exactly where I was when I first started. So when I first started my online business or started my experience, I was a personal finance blogger. And that was what I had the most experience in. I was creating content, pushing it out on social media, and really just doing content marketing. And then I started getting questions from other business owners on how I did what I did. I got my very first client, helping him to create content for his financial advisory firm. And then from there, I started teaching and creating blogs. And that's what really grew my coaching business. And I started that business, that coaching business, in October of 2015. It generates a full-time income for me. And I also have several team members inside of the business with me as well. So I can definitely say that even though I started from zero, it's possible to grow to something that you're really proud of and something that supports you and potentially others as well. I started my coaching business in October of 2015 with 6 email subscribers. I did not have very many email subscribers. I did not have a huge social presence. And the people who did know me online, they knew me for my personal finance content. So it wasn't like I could just turn around and say, hey, now I'm doing marketing coaching to help you market your content and build your social media and get clients online, because those people were interested in personal finance. They were interested in paying off debt. They were interested in making more money, getting a salary, and all of those things. So I essentially started from scratch. At that point, I had no clients, and I really thought I had no experience. And that's probably where you are right now. But the truth is that you likely do have some sort of experience. You're at least one step ahead of the person that you want to help. And that's the key. That's what you have to remember. You have to remember that you don't have to be super advanced in order to help your client. You don't have to help everyone. You just have to help that one client that needs what you have to offer. Now, if you checked out my recent video on how to create your ideal client avatar, then you know exactly what I mean when I'm talking about your one client that you need to help. If you haven't watched that video already, be sure to check it out, because it's really going to help you to determine who you want to help. So I'm going to give you a step-by-step strategy so that you can get your coaching business started. The way that I got my business started was I did these steps and everything just sort of grew from there. So I'll tell you how you can get more of my story a little bit later, but I want to make this more about helping you. So the very first thing to do, if you feel like you have 0 clients, no experience, you don't know where to start, is to figure out your unique solution. So step 1, figure out your unique solution. Your unique solution is going to be different from how someone else might solve that same problem. So as I was going through getting my coaching business started, I was kind of testing out things here and there to figure out what my unique solution was. Like, what am I bringing to the market? What am I bringing to the table that no one else is bringing? And I didn't realize at the time, but I was really, really good at figuring out strategy. And I figured out that I was able to help my clients to create a marketing strategy. I was able to help them to put the pieces in place, and I could really understand how all of it came together. But at first, I thought that I was a business coach. So I labeled myself as a business coach. Sometimes I changed it up and said I was a success coach. And now I'm very consistent with the fact that I am a marketing consultant. That's what I do. I help my clients to create and fill their coaching programs. Like, I'm very specific on my unique solution. So I also want to encourage you to remember that you might not get it right out of the gate. It might change, it might evolve, but the key is to just choose something and choose your unique solution. And then as you continue growing and as you continue learning, it might change, it might evolve, and that's absolutely fine. All right, the next step is to get your clients. So test out your solution. So step 2, test out your solution with at least 3 free clients. And I might change that number and recommend a different amount of clients based on the person who actually comes to me. So for example, I was speaking with a prospect the other day, and she was like a little bit more advanced in the fact that she had already worked with a couple of clients in her profession. Like, she'd been getting paid for the last, several years, and her experience was in helping clients in this area, but she just hadn't done it for herself yet. So in her case, I suggested that she worked with about 1 client for free in this business structure, and then to leverage all of the results that she had been able to help clients achieve over the years from, her previous job. And so it might be a little bit different for you if your full-time job or what you've been doing over the past couple years is significantly different from what you want to do in your coaching business. Then it might make sense for you to work with a couple of clients, because you need to get a little bit more specific with how you want to help that ideal client. It'll help you hone in on that unique solution as well. And it's really going to help you gain that confidence. It's also going to help because it'll enable you to grab a couple of testimonials, which is step 3. So step 3 in getting your coaching business started is get up to 3 testimonials. Why do I like 3 testimonials? This is the number that I stick with for everyone, no matter what. The reason I say 3 testimonials, a couple reasons. One is I like to build my webinars based off of testimonials, client results, and case studies. And in order to do that and to use my anti-webinar formula, I need 3 testimonials, and that's part of the process that I use. But also for you, it's really going to help you as you're getting started to start building that case study for yourself and to be able to share with a potential client, hey, I worked with someone who was in your similar situation, or I worked with someone who was exactly where you are right now. It's going to be difficult for you to say that if you haven't worked with someone in that scenario, or if there's no one that you can sort of make that comparison to. So I like having 3 testimonials. And when I suggest to clients that they get testimonials, I always suggest that they get video testimonials first. If you can get a video testimonial, it's so much more powerful than any other type, because when someone else is watching that testimonial, they can see how that other person react. Like, how did your client react? How were they feeling? What is their experience in their own words? And that's really powerful. To get your video testimonials, what you can do is just have a conversation with your clients at the end. After you guys have worked together, just ask them a couple questions, like, what was your experience like before we started working together? What did you accomplish while we were working together? And what do you feel like you can do now going forward? If you look at my Client Success Calls playlist, that's right here on YouTube, you'll notice that my Client Success Calls follow that same formula. And the idea is that I just want to hear from their own words what their experience was. And the key here is don't script this out. Try not to prepare the client success calls or your case studies or testimonials, whatever you want to call them. I really like being surprised on those calls. So sometimes I have an idea of the results that client has gotten, and I might ask questions along that line, but I love when I get on the success call and I'm a little bit surprised by the results that they've achieved, meaning that I didn't know them beforehand. And if you watch one of the videos, you'll actually be able to see my reaction where I literally almost fall backwards after hearing how one of my clients generated $18,000 in 2 weeks. I was super excited to hear that. So that's The first part is just to get your testimonials, and I suggest getting video testimonials. If you can't get video testimonials, the next best option is an audio testimonial. So for some of your coaching clients are a little bit camera shy. For example, if you've done any sort of body transformation, or if it's a topic that's really kind of sensitive, then you might want to go with an audio testimonial instead. And in this case, you would just, maybe hop on Zoom, just do a quick chat and take that audio, and you can save that for your testimonial. Now, in order to make this audio testimonial just a little bit more dynamic, I recommend using an app called Headliner app. I'll leave the link to this in the description box, but this is the app that I use when I want to make a audio a little bit more 3D. And I'll show you an example of what I did with a client testimonial, where I took out like a little audio snippet and I put it in Headliner app, and I was able to create a really cool, visually appealing audio testimonial. So take a look. All right, great. Well, I'm excited to host another success call. Today, I am here with Dirthalee Joseph. Dirthalee is a purpose and transformation coach. So you joined the program, you jumped in, you got started. What do you feel like you got out of it?
I got a lot of clarity for where I want my business to go in the future. Like, I thought that I was just going to learn how to create my program, but I also learned okay, wait, my business can go in this direction now that I have this program.
All right, great. Now, once you have your testimonials, whether it's video or audio, and if you can't get audio, go ahead and get a text-based testimonial. Once you have those, it's time for step 4. Step 4 is choose your business model. Now, this is going to trip some people up, so let me make sure to take this slowly. Your business model is the way that your coaching business generates revenue. Every coaching business is different, and there's a couple things that you can mix and match. So as an example, my coaching business generates revenue around 70% from on-demand courses and group coaching programs that are mostly course-based, and about 30% from one-on-one coaching or done-for-you client services. Even though the larger payments come from one-on-one clients and from done-for-you client services, it still only represents about 30% of our revenue. 70% of our revenue comes from courses and like some of the smaller group coaching programs that I do that are pretty course based, where I essentially show up for a Q&A call or a group coaching call, something like that. So if you want your coaching business to be based more on one-on-one, where maybe 100% or 70% is one-on-one, then your marketing structure is going to be a little bit different. So that's why you've got to choose your business model first, because that's going to determine how you market your coaching business and what opportunities you take advantage of, how you set up your structure, who you hire out, and all those things that you do. Because I knew that I wanted my business model to be 70% leveraged coaching and 30% one-on-one, or stuff that requires my individual time and attention, that's why I set up a YouTube channel. And that's why I decided to make this my main method of marketing. And the reason that I did that is because YouTube does a really great job at helping me to promote my content. It's an asset. So the piece of content is an asset that grows over and over again. It's connected to the largest search engine right now. So it makes it very easy for me to leverage a lot of free and organic traffic. If I were doing more one-on-one coaching, I might do more in the way of live streams or speaking engagements or in-person events. What I've found is that it's a lot easier to book one-on-one coaching clients after a speaking engagement. And that's the majority of the ways that I get one-on-one clients, in-person coaching clients. When people have an opportunity to meet me and be in my space and energy, it's that much easier for them to choose to make that investment. It might be different for you, but think about what do you want your business model to be? Here are a couple of ways that you can generate income as a coach. You can do workshops, courses. You can do in-person events, live events like a retreat, speaking engagements, in-person workshops. You can do one-on-one coaching. you can do group coaching, you can do done-for-you services. And if you're a coach and you're not sure what your done-for-you service might be, think about the homework or the assignments that you give to your clients. And if there's anything that you could potentially take off their plate or outsource, obviously, because you don't want to have to do all of the work yourself. But think about some of those things that you might be able to take off their plate and what can you bring in-house as a done-for-you service. So there's a lot of different options and a lot of different ways that you can structure your coaching business to make sure that it continues to grow. And I find that not having the right business model or not choosing the business model is just one mistake that most new coaches make. And it's a mistake that will prevent you from reaching six figures, at least at a minimum, in your coaching business. But there are 6 mistakes that coaches make that will prevent them from reaching 6 figures. Now, I actually did a full training on these 6 mistakes. So if you'd like to check that training out, all you have to do is click the link in the description, or you can go to latisha.tv/6. That's latisha.tv/SIX. And during this training, you'll discover why you can't afford to make less than 6 figures as a full-time coach, how to create a solid coaching program and fill it with high-quality clients, and how to attract those high-quality clients who are ready to pay. When you avoid these 6 mistakes, you'll see how my clients are easily able to generate 10K in 10 days, book high-quality coaching clients, and even sell their low-ticket offers in a buying frenzy. Once again, in order to join us on the training, all you have to do is go to latisha.tv/6. What other questions do you have about starting a coaching business? I would love to help get the conversation started. All you have to do is comment below. Don't forget to subscribe because I've got more videos coming to help you to create and fill your coaching programs. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Okay, bye.